Employment tribunals do not generally attract widespread interest, but supporters of the Darlington Nurses gathered from first thing this morning outside this court building in Newcastle. It is, I think, a measure of the emotive issues at stake here, issues that will be examined in the coming days. This case has put a group of Darlington nurses firmly in the spotlight. Earlier, 7 of the 8 arrived together where they were greeted by supporters for the start of evidence in their employment tribunal taking place in Newcastle. The nurses involved in the case work at Darlington Memorial Hospital. They're bringing the action against their employer, County Durham and Darlington NHS Foundation Trust, challenging its policy of allowing a colleague called Rose Henderson to use the female changing space. They were born male and identify as female. The first evidence came this afternoon from staff nurse Karen Danson, who's worked at the Trust since 2019. Under cross-examination, she was asked about an incident in September 2023, when she and Rose Henderson were alone in the changing room at the end of a shift. Ms Danson alleges that Rose Henderson, who was half-dressed at the time, asked her 3 times whether she was getting changed. Ms Danson was asked whether she could have been mistaken. She replied, "I've got no reason to lie." The women have brought the claim on the grounds of harassment, discrimination, victimisation and the right to privacy, as set out in the European Convention of Human Rights. They're supported by an organisation called the Christian Legal Centre, which has backed a number of other prominent cases. More than 3 weeks of evidence is scheduled, when the tribunal is expected to hear from other parties involved. The hearing is due to resume tomorrow.
So Helen, how does this tribunal fit into previous rulings about trans issues?
Well, this tribunal comes 6 months after a ruling at the Supreme Court in London. Now, that pertains to an entirely different case, but it's one that has wider ramifications. Those Supreme Court judges ruled that the legal definition of a woman should be based on biological sex under the terms of the Equality Act 2010, meaning that a transgender woman wouldn't have the right to access a single-sex changing area, for example, designated for women. Now, at the time, the Health and Social Care Secretary, Wes Streeting, welcomed that ruling on the grounds that it provided clarity. He said that he was confident that a way could be found to guarantee the rights of women while protecting the dignity of trans people.